People should buy less Costa coffees and go on less holidays and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay their electricity bill.
The problem isn't the Costa or the holidays. Why shouldn't people who work hard have, some pleasures? If people want a Costa coffee, if they want this, that or the other, if they want to go on holiday sometimes.
You're not being told the truth about the cost of living crisis. This crisis isn't inevitable. When prices go up, someone somewhere else is making a profit out of it.
Housing prices are going up, rent's gone up, food's gone up, everything's going up. I'm having a midlife crisis. I don't understand how people are living.
What in this bag is £10.50? What is £10.50?
It is now costing me over 120 quid. Sorry? 120 quid? 50% more than what I used to pay.
Can somebody please explain to me why an £100 food shop is now lasting 2.5 days?
Why are they going up? Who owns all this shit that is going up?
The cost of living is totally disproportionate, or our wages are disproportionate to what it costs to live. It's the truth though, isn't it?
That we don't want to work because we can't work towards anything, because the Costa coffee job that would have paid for your house back in the 80s is not even funding them to stay in their mother's home.
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we talk about what's really happening in broken Britain. The cost of living crisis isn't just a headline, it's our reality. You work full-time and still can't afford to eat properly. Energy bills through the roof, rent eating half your wages, fuel, food, childcare, everything's up, except your pay. And while you're skipping meals and rationing heating, politicians are still claiming expenses for second homes and private dinners. This isn't mismanagement, it's exploitation. And people on TikTok, they've had enough. So if you're tired of being gaslit while going broke, hit subscribe. You're not alone. And here on Brit Rants, we're saying what you're thinking.
You're not being told the truth about the cost of living crisis. This crisis isn't inevitable. When prices go up, someone somewhere else is making a profit out of it. Whether it's food billionaires profiteering from your weekly shop, or oil barons ripping off your energy bills, inflation means your money is lining someone else's pockets. It's always telling what isn't in your media headlines. For too long, economics has been the preserve of those in Westminster or the City of London, where the incentives are to mystify and confuse the rest of us about how our world works. This show aims to democratise economics, making the subject accessible for everyone. At Macrodose, we cut through the noise to bring you evidence-based and climate-focused economics journalism. From greedflation to the polycrisis, we break down the headlines and bring you quick, weekly updates on everything you need to know. The era of easy growth is over, and it's time our media caught up. Macrodose, your weekly fix of climate economics. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
So what is the extra cost of living payment for 2025? So the figure this time is £200 to £256. There's one for £450. There are so many rumours going around, and there are multiple sources for this. So the Household Support Fund is the old chestnut. Also, then there's a figure which is based on the fact that they know it will take less per month for debts and things, so you will be better off. Then there's about the benefit rise, so over the year, that's how much you're better off. But the thing that is absolute fact, and it's been so funny seeing in the comments on my other videos about this, how many people will argue like to the end of time to say yes, there's a COLP coming. There isn't any more COLPs. The word is being used in vain, so to speak, as an old term. It's not being used correctly. They're not cost of living payments. Those ended, and they've ended for good. But there are these other things that you see a figure and people are twisting it. So be very careful. There is nothing. However, there are funds of money available for those who are really struggling. Citizens Advice can do a financial assessment and let you know what's available to you and what you can apply for and assist you in applying. But there is no COLPS, but it seems very in the person's interest on certain accounts that they push the narrative that there is, which is causing a real hype at the moment about cost of living, because it gets a lot of interaction on their accounts, a lot of growth and stuff, and the people arguing with them, they love it because there's a lot of people then who fall for it and give them the attention that they want. And it's like, please don't fall for it. There isn't going to be this magic amount of money that's going to land in your account like we had with the cops. They do not exist anymore.
Hey yo, can somebody please explain to me why an £100 food shop is now lasting 2.5 days? I'm not going Waitrose, Marks and Sparks. I'm going Iceland on the fucking estate. Cooked! If you've got kids, you must be on scrambled egg and toast for the 10th night in a row. I'm feeling for you. Cost of living crisis. I won't blame you if you go and hold up a bank if you can find one that's fucking open. Yeah, it's a good job I don't have kids, really, and it's surprising I don't with the cost of fucking condoms as well. Fucking hell, ain't that right, pussy? We can't fucking eat. You're gonna have to fucking go out on the corners. So you're out.
So, at Homerton Hospital, went to WH Smith, brought a meal deal, 2 crisps, 1 drink, bloody £10.50. Oh, and a newspaper. What in this bag is £10.50? What is £10.50?
Or are you just taking on young people who don't actually fucking want to do their job?
Listen, no hate to this creator at all. She has all of the right to complain about treatment of herself in a restaurant if she wants to. But it's so funny to me that the older generations are starting to realise what's happening with the youth, that we don't want to work because we can't work towards anything, because the cost of coffee job that would have paid for your house back in the 80s is not even funding them to stay in their mother's home. I need you to imagine a situation with me real quick, okay? You're 21 years old, you've just got a degree because that's what everyone told you to do, right? To come out of uni, you got a bit of debt, but you're looking for a job. You apply for every single post-grad job that you can, every job that's going that is in your field, you really want to go into it. You're living back at home because once you move out of uni, where the hell else are you going to go? And you start getting rejection, even a rejection letters enough correspondence, because most of the time they don't even answer, and this goes on for about 6 months. And you're thinking, why the hell is no one trying to hire me or even bring me in for an interview? I've applied for over 1,000 jobs in a month. What's going on? What the hell? And then your mum turns to you and is like, listen, if you're going to stay here full time, you're going to need to start bringing in some money, start saving for your own place, right? So then you just start applying for whatever the hell you can. Whatever the hell will take you, you start ringing it through. And for some miracle, Costa Coffee responds and says, yeah, we'll take you for an interview. Now, you've spent 8 months trying to get that interview, so of course you're going to go. It's not in the field you wanted, nowhere near the wage that you needed, but it's a job. So you go in, you do your interview, you get a response, again, very rare, and they hire you. Now, you come in, training's shocking, because training standards have gone down even since I first started applying for jobs, so you have no clue what you're doing. Your manager that hired you is underpaid, underfed, probably got a family of 3 that they're trying to support, and they can barely do that on a manager's wage, so they're not really going to give an F what the hell you do in that shop as long as you're getting the drinks out. You get your check paycheck at the end of the month after being abused by a customer several times, staying long hours, working probably back-to-back open and closes, and you barely touch your 1.2 a month. Now compare that to the rent prices, because they've gone up, right? So realistically, with your 1,200 a month, what are you going to do? Because you've got to start paying off your student loan. How the hell are you going to afford rent and council tax? And what if you drive? All of these things are not covered by the wage anymore. So then you do that for a couple of years, you start saving up, you're touching 25, still living at home, probably got about £800 in your saving, because there's nothing else you can, everything is so goddamn expensive. Transport to get to work if you don't drive. If you do drive, my God, our car's expensive nowadays. So you have about 800 in your savings, so you're thinking maybe I could look into a deposit for a flat. You go on Rightmove, and they're looking for at least 3 months, a guarantor, previous rental experience to even consider your application. I know it's a bit of a long one, but the point of my story is they're not going to want to work because there's nothing to work towards. all they continue to do is buy out credit cards so they can at least have a social life to go out with their friends, which they end up paying back. These people up there want to keep the lowers in debt so that they don't do anything. Don't ever begin to think about mortgages. That ain't happening. And then some woman comes onto TikTok who's probably, got a house, decent job, pays the way, got a car, understands what to do with money, and starts slagging off the fact that you weren't a little bit nicer to her when she came in. It's as I've said, within your right, but it's so out of touch. And you know it is. People don't want to work. We don't want to work anymore because what in the are we working towards? What, further debt? It's hopeless. But when you were back in your youth, you could go and get a house for 80 grand and it's probably worth what, 250 now? There's nothing to do anymore. They don't want to work because they're not getting paid enough. So they're not going to give you the best service. Like, instead of looking at the young kids that are just trying to make their way through life, you need to start looking at the whole fucking thing. Jesus. But I hope your Black Forest ghetto was alright.
I'm sorry, but I've just gone shopping, food shopping. Food shop here used to cost me about 60, 75 quid for two people. It is now costing me over 120 quid. Sorry? 120 quid. 50% more than what I used to pay. What is going on with this economy? Like, I actually can't. Like, how do people cope? How are people dealing with the cost of living? Like, I don't have kids, so I'm fine. I don't feel financially strained, and I have created multiple sources of income, thank God. But people who are just relying on their wages, how are you dealing with this cost of living crisis? Especially if you are a parent, like a single parent with kids to fund, like, and then you're just relying on one income. How are you doing it? Literally let me know in the comments, because how? Like, the stress of thinking about how you're going to pay for all of your bills and pay for food and just to live and for your kids' uniforms and books and education, like childcare. It's like 1,500 quid in the UK. Sorry, like, what a joke this shit is. Like, if you don't have a second stream of income or some sort of business, I don't know how people are dealing with it. Like, if you want to just stop living week to week or month to month, paycheck to paycheck, do something about it. This is your sign. Get your act together and start that side business. There is so much money online to be made. Like, every single side hustle works. Drop shipping, affiliate marketing, digital marketing. Digital products are the freaking king of this online space. Like, if you're not create a digital product and sell it, it is so unbelievably lucrative. I have a free training in my profile that will give you an idea of how to start and make high ticket sales every single freaking sale. Get on it. My DMs are open.
Do you ever sit there and deep that we're on this planet and we're just paying bills? Like, I just don't understand how we have got to where we are in this current climate. We're in a cost of living crisis. Like, I do not understand. Like, I could be coming across so stupid right now, but why are we paying bills to live on this earth? Let me just shut these windows. I'm literally sitting here thinking, right, why are they going up? Who owns all this shit that is going up? Like, I could sit here and have a full-on discussion with myself. We come out of Brexit. What has that done for us? And housing prices are going up. Rent's gone up. Food's gone up. Everything's going up. I'm having a midlife crisis. I don't understand how people are living in this current climate. People's mental health is an absolute mess at the moment. I feel like everybody's going through the same energy switch right now. But the underlying question is, We've got people that obviously control this planet, yeah? Why is it all gone tits up? Like, they obviously control it, and but my main thing is that I can't understand is, why are they making it so hard to live right now? I don't understand. I really don't understand how it's got to this point. Whoever is running this world, which obviously are the elites, they're obviously comfortable living in they're rich, their generational wealth will continue. I understand that. I just don't understand how we've got here. We're just a planet that's floating in the earth, and we're just here just paying bills for water. Why am I fucking paying for water? Why am I paying? I just don't understand it. Something needs to happen. What are we doing? We can't just sit here and allow, like, we haven't been put on this earth. Our parents didn't have us to live this mediocre life. And I'm going to be really honest, like, I don't understand how it's got to this point. And I genuinely, one of them, I feel that it's happened like this. They've controlling it this way. Obviously, the rich are going to continue to keep getting richer. And I'm just fed up at this point. I'm fed up at this point because people shouldn't have to be struggling at this point. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry, I was just literally sitting here at the traffic lights. I'm thinking, who the fuck's controlling this world? Are they either doing it on purpose, yeah, so the rich continue to get richer, or they need to be fired because they've done their shit job wrong? So yeah, I still don't have my answers, but I'm sure other people are on the same boat right now. But yeah, that's my little rant over.
People should buy less Costa coffees and go on less holidays and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay the electricity bill.
I have never bought a Costa coffee in my whole life, and I haven't been on holiday for years. Granted, I can afford to keep the lights on and keep the place warm and cosy. I can afford to put good food on the table and dress my children well, and they do have, good standard of living. They have hobbies and interests. But I work hard. I run a small business. I do put in a lot of hours. Even so, it's tough. I find it tough. We have had to make cuts. And the biggest thing, the reason why I can continue to afford to pay these bills is because every time the cost of living goes up, I work harder. Cost of living goes up, I take on more work. Cost of living goes up more, I take on another side hustle. Cost of living goes up again, and I take on another part-time job. I work during the day. I get up early in the morning and do work. I work throughout the day. I work when the children go to bed. I often work until 2 o'clock in the morning doing what I do. Now, the cost of living is set to go up again. Council tax is going up. All sorts of things are going up. I'm not sure where I'm going to find the next lot of hours for. And the struggle is certainly not because I've been wasting my money on Costa coffee and on holidays. Saying that, the problem isn't the Costa or the holidays. Why shouldn't people who work hard have, some pleasures? If people want a Costa coffee, if they want this, that or the other, if they want to go on holiday sometimes. Is that really so wrong? The cost of living is totally disproportionate, or our wages are disproportionate to what it costs to live. It's the truth though, isn't it? And that smug git going on about Costa coffee or holidays, a lot of people aren't going anywhere. A lot of people are literally on the breadline. A lot of people are in a much worse state than I am in. But it's tough, and it's not all because everyone's wasting their money and not saving up. Who's got money spare to save? The cost of living keeps going up. Everything's going up. And my strategy is to be to work harder and harder and harder. But I'm starting to wonder what to do over the next times. There's a limit to what hours you can do, isn't there?
Yeah, can I just get one direct train all the way to Manchester? I've got my 16 to 25 Sabre Rail card, so that should bump down the price a little bit. How much are we saying? £550. Okay. Sorry, can I just see a flight from London to Magaluf, if that's okay? It's £4.50. Okay. Hi, yeah, can I just get a G&T and some peanuts, if that's okay? Yeah, of course, that will be £35.50 for a G&T and peanuts. Okay, yeah, no, that's quite cheap for London, actually. Right, I want to save money, so we're going to get a meal deal for lunch. Okay, brilliant. Okay, Tesco, what are we saying? Okay, £35 for cheese and onion crisps and a ham sandwich, so thank you. All right, what have we got for dinner? Baked beans. Amazing. I'm actually, quite tired. I'm going to go to sleep, actually, now. Your birthday gift. Yeah. So, I definitely wasn't tight for money, and I spent long and hard getting this. Yeah, the grind was real. Are you ready for it? It's a hug. Yeah, there's 2 tickets to see that new film in the cinema, please. Do you have a student discount? Actually, yeah, we do. We have 2. Okay, well, 1 is only valid, and that will take it down by 0.5%. So, the grand total is £65. Do you want to just stand outside the cinema and we could probably hear it?
Can we please talk about the cost of things? Because I spent almost £33 before I'd even got to lunchtime. Paid for parking, which was £11.50. I then paid around £10 for a return train ticket. I paid about £7 for a coffee and a croissant. However, the coffee fell out of my hand and spilt on the pavement, so I spent another £4 replacing that. All in all, before I'd even got to lunchtime, I'd already spent about £33. Bruised, because I just couldn't process why I'd already spent this much money before I'd even got to lunch. And I can't even begin to imagine what it's like for people with dependents, like children, who have a mortgage, other working families. Because relatively speaking, I'm in a place of privilege, which I'm really grateful for. I don't have dependents, I do have a mortgage, but my property is currently rented out and that covers most of the mortgage costs. I just have to offset a little bit. I live with my mum and I contribute towards household bills. Other than that, I only have direct debits such as my gym, phone bill and a few other bits of direct debit. But I don't have anything major. Yet I felt financially, mentally and emotionally bruised after today. I pretty much wrote off today financially. Before my last meeting this afternoon, I went and got myself another coffee, which cost me another £3. My lunch was a salad from a really good salad place, and for up north, it's quite reasonable. It was about £10, but it was a large salad and I got a lot in it. So it was good value for money. I'm really hoping that this is an exception, because it was just today that I decided to park instead of walk to the train station. And I don't want to be criticised for wanting to buy coffees, because everybody who's working, who wants a good quality of life, who earns, should deserve joy and little pleasures. But I have not been able to let go of today. I've been feeling really bad all day, and genuinely, I don't know how other people are managing this.
I hate the fact that you have like all these moaning posts on here, but sometimes people are just in them situations where you feel like that's all you can do at the minute. Yesterday I woke up, had this letter from HMRC, not going to go into any details, but when it's just that one thing that breaks the camel's back, that was my thing yesterday. I had a moan on the other post of the day about like the cost of living and everything like that, and how people are really struggling at the minute, and yesterday was my tough day. It's also a bit of an appreciation post, and a bit of a reality check, and what a post to say that, you know, you're not on your own, and sometimes you feel like the world's against you, but you will make it through the other side. So I'm so grateful to, the lady who owns the salon that I work at, she's not just the owner of where I work, she's a really good friend of mine, and yesterday she was really there for me when I needed her. And also my first client of the day, I'm just so grateful that it was her that was in, because on the way to work I've just had this mental breakdown. I ended up being 10 minutes late, which is not like me whatsoever. So I'm ringing work in a frantic panic, like, can somebody just get my lady shampooed, like make her a coffee, I'm on my way. And then when I got there, I'd obviously already had a breakdown on the phone to the owner. She was like, right, just take a breath, it's fine, you know these situations are shit, times are shit, but it will get better. And I know it will, and I knew it would. Anyway, I got in, I could see that my first client sort of had an inkling of what was going on. And straight, I think I'd got myself in this frenzy then of, now I've got to pay this. Am I going to be able to take the kids away in a few weeks, but weekend? Are we going to be able to do these things through summer holidays that they've asked to do? And I'd got myself into this mum guilt of panic. And she was just like, how much is this tax? Let me pay for it. Obviously pay it back, but let me get you out of this situation right now and let me pay for it, which absolutely blew me away, and I couldn't believe it, and I was so thankful and appreciative. Obviously I said no, because one, she's my client and I'm not going to have that relationship with my client where I then owe you money back. But two, I just don't think it was appropriate. But in that moment just felt so heartwarming, and just that sudden, like, no thought about it, like, you're taking your kids away, you're doing this, let me help you. So yeah, just really appreciative. But then one of my clients didn't turn up for a colour that was quite a big colour, so then I was like, do you know what, I'm just flipping fed up now, like literally fed up. Like, that just tipped me over edge even more, and the girls at work yesterday just did so well to keep me going, bring me up and muddle through. And then I got in last night, I thought I'm just going to have a quick flick on TikTok, and this post came up. There were no speaking or anything, it was just music and words, and it was just perfect for me in that moment. So basically it said that this daughter had gone to her dad and said, Dad, I'm in a really dark place at the minute, I'm really struggling, I need some advice. And he didn't say a word, he just turned round, got 3 pans of water, put them on to boil for 20 minutes, and in each one put 3 separate things. So one had a potato, one had an egg, and one had some coffee beans. Boiled it for 20 minutes, put them in front of his daughter and said, what do you see? And she was like, a potato, an egg and some coffee beans. He says, yeah, but what do you see? What's happened? And she was like, I don't understand. He said, well, you can either, when life gets hard and things seem out of control, you can either boil in the pan and become a potato, which is mashed, which you can mush up and turns to mush. You can be an egg that goes from being fragile to hard, or you can be a coffee bean that completely transforms the water and turns it into something else. And I thought, do you know what, that is such an amazing way to look at life. Yesterday I boiled like a potato and I went to mush, completely went to mush. Today I've woke up and thought, I'm going to be that egg, I'm going to harden up, I'm going to sort my shit out, and then eventually I can be the coffee bean and I can transform myself around and we're going to be something brand new. Sometimes that takes time, you can't do it within a day. But times are hard, parents are getting stressed out, you get that guilt trip. I mean, like I said to my client yesterday, I've got 3 children, that is a lot of money that has to be paid out sometimes. However, when I decided to have 3 children 8 years ago, we wasn't in this financial situation, and it's making things really hard. Even just so much as school trips. So next week all 3 of mine have got a school trip, £17 each, which doesn't seem a lot, but it's like, what, 40 odd quid? Just under £40. And because you're not claiming anything, the school just automatically assumes you're financially able, which, yeah, I will find the money and it will be paid. But then, like, next year when the kids go into year 4, I think they're going to start doing these weekend trips and stuff, and I just think I'm sort of dreading it. But it's just a reminder to say that, you know, times are hard, people are going through a bad time, but there is support out there. Turn to your friends, turn to your loved ones, speak out, talk about it, and just ride the wave, because there's got to be a light, somewhere. So happy Thursday, and anybody that's having a rough time, I'm here, message me. We've all got to ride the wave together.
The system's rigged. We do everything right, work hard, pay taxes, keep going, and still get punished while the rich get richer. And when we speak up, they call us lazy. When we struggle, they say it's just tough times. They expect us to suffer in silence while they live in luxury, but we're not staying quiet anymore. Drop a comment below. What's hit you hardest in this crisis? Is it rent, food, bills, all of it? And if you're sick of being bled dry while the top laugh their way to the bank, subscribe to Brit Rants. Let's expose the truth and shout louder than they want us to.